Hi besties, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Leah. Welcome to day 2 of BOOKMAS. Usually I have a couple 5 stars at least. Last year, and I guess even the beginning of this year, I would have like a 5-star read every month or every other month at least. So this is very baffling. I'm not surprised because I think in the beginning of the year I just read these books that were like everything to me, and I don't think anything has lived up to that expectation, and that is why I have yet to find a 5-star since. So we have some 5-star reads and 3 books that were literally this close to being 5 stars. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, the first book is If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nolan. I read If You'd Been With Me in June of last year, and I literally remember it so vividly because I remember finishing the book, and I actually don't think I finished that book. I think it finished me because I remember after reading it, I literally went downstairs. I feel like I've told this story so many times. I finished it, I was crying my eyes out, and then I went to my parents' bedroom and I was like, and they were in there, and I was like, guys, what the heck just happened? And I was crying as if something terrible had happened to me. And I'm actually currently trying to get my mom to read it, and she doesn't really like sad books, so it's like kind of a struggle to get her to read it, but she downloaded it. She has it on Kindle Unlimited, so I think we're gonna get her to read it in 2025. I will update you if she does. But yeah, If Only I Had Told Her, this was just the perfect sequel. It's obviously the sequel to If You'd Been With Me, which is about these 2 kids, Autumn and Finney, who their parents were best friends, their moms were best friends in high school, and it kind of followed them throughout. They bought houses next to each other, and they raised their kids together. And then Autumn and Finney kind of grew up, and they kind of became best friends. But then when they were in 8th grade, something happened. They started to drift apart. And I guess you could say that book is kind of like them trying to like come together again and like be friends again, and kind of what happened. But then at the end, there's just like this crazy plot twist that makes you cry. So yeah, if that wasn't a sign to read it, just read it. And this is the sequel. It's like the aftermath, but it's also everything that happened in his point of view. But there's 3 point of views in this book. There's Finney's point of view, there's Autumn's point of view, and then there's Finney's best friend Jack's point of view. Moral of the story, I love this book. Best sequel ever. It's just the emotion it captured from Jack and Autumn's point of view, even in Finney's point of view. It was just like, oh my god. And the way Autumn was describing things, the ending, annotations. I love this book, and I love this world, and I don't know what it is about Laura Nolan's writing, but wow, it's amazing. I love the way she writes. It's kind of like the imagery of it that I love the most. The books I'm about to talk about were the first books. The first 2 were my first 2 reads of the year, which is Binding 13 and Keeping 13. I adore this book, and this has now become my favorite series of all time, which is just wow to even think about. If you were to ask me, like, the whole series overall is 100% of 5 stars. I rated this one 5 stars. Binding 13, which follows Johnny and Shannon, their story is just beautiful. It's literally just beautiful. Shannon has had a hard time at her old school. Flash forward, it is now her first day. She's about to be attending Tommen College. Now, those of you who, like me, live in the United States, was very confused when you were reading about it and seeing that it was called Tommen College when they were 15 and like 16. So it just like wasn't adding up. But I guess in Ireland, college is actually the name for high school. I think the same way in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong. And university is just what they call college. Like, it's not called college, it's called university. So Shannon, on her first day at Tommen, doesn't know where she's going, and she wanders on to the rugby field during the rugby team's practice, and Johnny Kavanaugh hits Shannon in the head with a rugby ball. Totally accidental, but to me, and I feel like to readers looking back, it's just a funny situation. Like, I can't believe he hit her in the head and that's how they met. And like after that happens, John is kind of just like drawn to her and kind of just like wants to like apologize. So kind of like starts becoming her friend. But her parents do not like that they're friends or that they even know each other. And it's not just a romance book. I know it might seem like it. The backstory of Shannon is so deep, and definitely check the trigger warnings if you're planning on reading this, because it's very deep. And yeah, but it's so good. The story kind of takes place in like the late 90s, 2000s, but that's not like a big plot twist. It's just like the music that they mention listening to, and I don't know, it's just music that I listen to, so it's kind of like when they bring it up and I just like think of them, the amount of playlists I have for these characters. Best thing ever. This is a 5-star. The second book, which is the sequel of Johnny and Shannon, is a 5-star. I can't decide which one I like more. I want to say it's Keeping 13 because I feel like the emotional depth in that one is like deeper, but yeah, Saving 6, 5 stars. I really want to reread this whole series. Like, I think I'm going to next year. Like, it's probably gonna happen right before Claiming 10 comes out. These two books, they follow Joey, which is Shannon's brother. I freaking love Joey Lynch. Like, I don't know what it is about him, but I just love him, and he is like my favorite male character I think I've ever read about. He's not like my favorite book boyfriend. Like, I don't really see him as that because he has made a lot of mistakes that I wouldn't consider him in some aspects to be like a great boyfriend, but his character, I just love his character. And then we have Redeeming 6, which is by far the longest in the series, and I don't care. It's like 700 pages, and I read it in 5 days. This is my favorite of the series. I love this book so much. Now, here's the thing. I did not end up rating Taming 7 5 stars. I do love this book, and I do think that out of all of books in the whole entire series, this one made me cry the most. But I think it's because of the specific trauma that the character went into and the surprise it brought me when I realized what the trauma was. And now we get to a couple books that did not quite reach 5 stars, but were like literally this close. Ultimately, I personally feel like a 5-star book is like a feeling. Like, it doesn't have to be like the best written book ever. It just has to feel special to you, which is what those books made me feel. And I'm so surprised there wasn't more. I'm so surprised that there wasn't more. But I think I'm just like waiting for a book to meet the expectation of Redeeming 6. And I don't even know if that's possible. Like, I think Redeeming 6 is like my favorite book. Like, ever? Maybe. We have Magnolia Parks. This book has kind of always like been recommended to me like a lot of times, but I did not expect the connection I would have after reading this book. I really need to get the rest of the book, and if I don't, I need to read them on audiobook because I'm still like, my jaw is still dropped from reading the ending, even though it's been months since I've read this. I think it's been like 6 months. This book is basically like, the way I've always described it is like Gossip Girl in London. Like, they're fashion icons, they're rich, and it's just drama, and it's everything. The plot of it is Magnolia and BJ have been dating for years, I guess. That's kind of how they describe it, they go into it. But you know that they're not together anymore, but you don't know why, but you know that something happened. And then you figure out what happened at the end and just the details of it. And then I just can't. I was listening to the audiobook of it, but I was also like doing things and like having conversations at the same time. So I did get lost a little throughout, but I feel like if I understood everything that was going on in this book, that it would have been a 5-star, 100%, because, oh my gosh, I missed this book and I missed this series. I need to get back into this world as soon as possible. And then last but not least, we have Ricochet, the second book in the Addicted series. This is like a really short book. I read it, like, I think this was like the first book I read of August or something like that. But when I tell you the amount of emotion I felt in this book, the amount of tears that I had by the end of this. This is the second book in the Addicted Calloway series. First book, which goes into this book, is about Lily and Lo, who are both addicts. They kind of like try to help each other through it, but they're both struggling, but they're also like kind of famous and they're in the public eye, so they're trying to keep their secrets. Their families don't know about their secrets and what they're addicted to, that they even have addictions. And it's just kind of like them trying to keep a secret. And there's this whole fake dating scheme to try and keep that secret. And I love this book. And this one specifically made me cry a lot more, just because of the ending and what's going on with the couple. But more so, I saw myself in each of the Calloway sisters. It just like made me feel a connection towards this book and towards the characters. So yeah, that's all of the books that I've read this year that have been 5 stars, and some that came like really close. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. You guys can you guys can comment your 5 stars of this year or anything holiday related, and you guys can subscribe if you want. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow in day 3 of BOOKMAS. Bye!